Buenos dias, this is Kaipacho with the weekly Pele report on 1/11, January 11th, 2017. And I'm just out here kind of, on this rock outcropping, looking for the best place to do this Pele report. So I'll do a little 180 here while I give out these positions, because we got that full moon coming in Cancer. Today's Wednesday, the sun is exactly square Jupiter. Okay, and then the moon is moving into Cancer, and she's going to come into a full moon, which is what? Sun opposite moon, both of them square Jupiter, both of them square Uranus. Kind of a grand T-square going on here Thursday, Friday. What else? Thursday, Mercury moves back into Capricorn. Went direct. Okay, is going to be coming up to Pluto now. And Venus is up there in Pisces, okay, along with, and then we have an exact conjunction tomorrow, Venus conjunct Neptune, okay, and we've got Venus, Neptune, south node of the moon, okay, Mars is there in Pisces, also conjunct Chiron in Pisces. Both of these are squaring, okay, over there to Saturn in Sagittarius. So I want to be talking about this Pisces party going on here, okay, squaring Saturn, okay, and then of course, this full moon going on. So by Sunday, the moon has moved through Leo, okay, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Leo. Sunday moves into Virgo and opposes, okay, that Venus-Neptune conjunction. First, she comes up to her own north node. Very powerful emotional time there happening this weekend as the moon hits her own north node and then goes on to oppose Venus and Neptune in Pisces. I think I'm going to go down this way. That's kind of more out into the middle of nowhere. The beach where I started, I don't know if you saw, but there were some people down there. And there was a town down there. So I think I'm going to head over here. Yeah? Maybe over to that little beach over there. And talk at you soon. Okay, well. Such is Venus conjunct Neptune. I have been spending all of my battery taking 10,000 shots trying to get the lighting just right, so the backlight doesn't, blow out the background and you can still see my face, even though I'm in a shadow, and then I got to find a light, and then it's And this is just the way Venus-Neptune can be for everybody, where, Venus, number one, is the lower octave of Neptune. So when these two come together, this is like earthly love and spiritual love. This is like Neptune is the ideal, the infinite potential, and Venus is its earthly manifestation of it, right? So it's like this is a time where we really want things to be perfect. We want everything to be just right. And we can kind of feel like they're not perfect enough or not good enough. This lower love and higher love coming together, is in the sign of Pisces, is retreat. Take off, take out. Get away from the harshness, the coldness, the cruelness, and then we got this full moon coming up here in Cancer with this inner child that wants to be nurtured and loved, and this just can be really an amazing time. Mars conjunct Chiron in Pisces. Again, Mars is outward going, I, me, my, and Chiron is wounded, and Pisces is spirit, so this is just like impotent, feeling of helplessness, of vulnerability, of overwhelm, of just like, life is too big or too much, or I lost. Pisces. And this is also creating a little bit of a grand trine with Black Moon Lilith still in the late degrees of Scorpio. So we've got Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio going on this Thursday and Friday. And it's just really sensitive water. Water's about releasing, flowing, letting go out to the Great Mother, out to the ocean, return to the sea. And we can have these feelings like, I just want to return to the womb. I want to return to heaven or infinite space, or I want to ascend. It's like, ah. So you can have these feelings of powerlessness. And this feeling of powerlessness, or this feeling of, you know, like Mother Nature, just like I say in the mantra, you know, there's forces beyond our control. And there's a time to lose things. Maybe we lost the election. Maybe you lost, you know, a lover. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you lost a purpose. You know, like, what's the point? And you're just kind of in this place of, you know, the unknown, swimming in chaos. Pisces is chaos. Don't worry. It's all right. This is a beautiful, beautiful phase for going on retreat, going into Vipassana yoga, talking to the trees and the monkeys and the snakes and the snails and the dolphins, and just like, you know, talking to your inner self. All this stuff I said is in between Cancer and Pisces is the acts and will of God, Goddess, Spirit, Source, life. So you may be thwarted. And the downside of being thwarted or lose control or power. Yeah, I know they're having big rains up there in Northern California. You know, Mother Nature herself can just like flood us. We can be flooded. Too much. And this is what the Jupiter brings in. Yeah? So this square to Jupiter is too much feeling, too much emotion. Cancer and water also has to do with the past. Memories, childhood, family, security. This is just a time of where we can all be feeling really sensitive, really insecure, really afraid of the future, and then really not feeling strong enough to do anything about it, or even wanting to, like that lack of motivation. And so what I'm saying is, this is this time of year, this is a season of our lives, this is the astrology, okay, of this week, and maybe a couple more weeks as Mercury approaches Pluto, you know, and the Sun stays in Capricorn just a little bit longer. And we have this, you know, Pisces energy. It's time. It's time to listen within. It's time to submit to a force, a world force, a creative force, to source, to an intelligence and a will that is both beyond our comprehension and bigger, stronger than our ego will, than our personal will. It's time to align ourselves with divine will. And this is a huge task, isn't it? It has to do a lot with surrender. A surrender of what I may think is best. There is a bigger, greater plan. And I was thinking of an analogy. It's like, let's say you make a plan to climb to the top of Mount Everest. Okay? And I liken that to, I have a plan of having a life on planet Earth. So you make this plan. You pack just enough food. You look at the maps and see where you want to go. You've got just so much time. You're looking at the seasons, you know, You take everything into account. And then you set off on your expedition. And on that expedition, you what? You find Shambhala. Shambhala, baby. You find the secret hidden city of delight. And you go, I want to go over this way. I want to go off track. I'm distracted. I'm lured. I'm pulled. I'm being drawn. Oh, yeah, we have a lot of distractions. We have a lot of pulls. This world and other people, and, you know, it's just like really, you know, tempting to like go off track, follow that impulse, that distraction, that calling, that But you know what? Soul says, captain of the expedition says, okay, You've only got so much food. This is your intention. This is what you came in for. This is why we're here. You got to get to the top of that Mount Everest. So this is kind of a time, I feel, and it's humbling. Maybe you're like, screw you, Captain. I'm going off, you know, there's an oasis over there. There's something calling me. I've got to go check it out. And Captain says, slap, slap, bam, bam. Our whole expedition counts on you. We can't wait for you. We can't, you know, It's like, you're part of this expedition. You're part of the tribe. You're part, you know, come on. It's humbling. Like, slap, slap, man. Get back in line. Get out of your delusions or your illusions. You can't go off on your own on Mount Everest, okay? So this is a time, Pisces is humbling, Scorpio is humbling. These water signs are humbling. Our will needs to come into into conforming with a higher, greater divine rule law. And our ego is not big enough to know it. So we have to get out of our ego, out of our mind, out of our thinking, and develop other aspects, other elements, other psychic, extrasensory perception, opening the third eye, and submit our personal will to this divine will. And so that calls a time out. You need to disconnect. It's still a small voice within. Yeah, we still get inklings, or you know, we get a, you know, synchronicity, or, you know, something comes along that gives us a sign or this guidance. But in general, as long as we're Sun in Capricorn, you know, like super busy and super out there and super distracted, no, this is just this full moon. And a couple days after, that sun is going to come out into Leo, but then you're going to go back into Virgo. I really think until next month, when Mars moves into Aries and Venus moves into Aries. So we're kind of in this preparation stage, just before the gun goes off and the big race and the big whatever. It's time to, like, you know how they used to go into the chapel and say their last prayers or whatever, you know, or, you know, ask the Queen for her blessings before they set off on their journey. This is kind of a time of going into the temple within, or the temple with an intimate other, and really tuning in, yeah, to the will of the goddess, to the will of the gods, to the will of life, before we just take off. So it's a very beautiful time. And don't feel that, you know, if you're low energy or something, that, oh, there's something wrong, or, you know, I got to do something, I got to get back into action, I have to da-da-da-da. Don't fight it. Don't fight it, you know. You may end up in a hospital bed or something. This is a time to reflect. This is a time to lay low, listen, feel, and it's all right. You got to surrender. Maybe a little bit of your plans, or a little bit of your personal desires. But it's going to be good to really hear that voice within. And then you're going to come out in February and March and April, you know, like really great gangbusters, being like really, I know my course, I know my direction, I've been shown it, I've listened, and now I can really go full bore. So don't head off half-cocked with, you know, illusions or delusions and, you know, waste your time or get lost, you know, and lose the expedition. Submit, humble, listen, still the mind, yeah, and feel those feelings. The feelings are the guide, yeah. So there's a time to push and get it done, and a time to just sit still. As Mother Nature and my own soul have a higher and stronger will. There can be times when we're forced by society, by the economy, by our bosses, by our families, by Mother Nature, by our intimate partners, to just sit down and be still and listen. Don't fight it. Go with it. Open your ears. Maybe shut your mouth a little bit. Chill out. Yeah, one more time. There's a time to get it, to act and get it done, and a time to just sit still. As Mother Nature and my own soul have a higher and stronger will. May you come into alignment, acting within that alignment, listening to your own divine nature. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.